The Build Show is on the road today, coming to you from Alabama, where I'm visiting my buddy Will King at High Cotton Homes. And check this out, Will is doing precast foundations on his job. That's right, this foundation wall here was actually poured off-site, trucked in, and then craned in place. There's some cool stuff going on here. Today's Build Show all about precast foundations. Let's get going. Let me introduce you to my buddy Will King. Will, thanks for having me in your job, man.
Thanks for being here, Matt. Awesome.
This is quite a location, Will, right in the lake. This is beautiful.
Excellent.
And you've got a walkout foundation, but this foundation walls, this is something I've never seen before. What is this?
So Superior Wall, precast concrete wall. Really neat product. You can tell it's brought in on a crane. So they make these in a factory. They bring them in with a crane and set them. But you have a face of concrete here. It's 1 3/4 inch thick, backed by 2.5 inches of foam. So you got like an R12 value. Your studs are 24 inches on center. So you got, I think, 7 1/4 bore concrete here. Yeah. Thermally broken. The top cord, bottom cord, and the studs are all thermally broken.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and then face with a galvanized cover, so then sheetrock screws straight to it.
Yeah, so there's no wall framing on the inside, and
right.
If you wanted to insulate this, you could insulate this cavity too, right?
Absolutely, yeah, with like an R19 bat. So then your wall assembly is basically like an R31 at that point. So
holy cow.
Super insulated.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now talk to me about the process. Did you put a footer down first? Are you pouring concrete and then these guys are coming?
Yeah, interesting. Like it's a compacted stone footer, so there's no concrete. And that always throws everybody off when you talk about it. So based off the height of your house, they have a chart with the weight and then this compacted stone. So basically, you excavate the house, their prep crew comes in, you provide the stone, they compact it to their spec, and then they're ready for install. The drain's on the outside in that same stone footer. It's on the outside of the wall.
Wow.
So
that's wild.
They handle the prep for you.
And then after these walls are in place, I'm assuming this basement slab gets poured later then.
Absolutely. So after the walls are set, the next step would be roughing in plumbing, and then you'd pour your slab. That locks the walls in from coming inward, the bottom of them.
And is there a tie between the bottom of this foundation and the concrete
so
here?
these ties fold down into the slab when you pour it. So then it's connected there at that connection. And then after your slab's in, then you put your floor system on before you backfill. So that's how you get your bracing.
So the floor system's actually part of the bracing of this wall. Correct. To make sure nothing's coming in.
Absolutely.
So you've got concrete in the bottom and your floor system's tied in.
Right.
Now how's the floor system tied in? Are there anchors in there or
yeah,
what's up?
So in this top cord of the superior wall, you can tell it's pre-drilled for bolts, and they provide the bolts with you.
Okay, so there's a bolt head right there.
Exactly. I think
that's going up through your bottom plate.
That's right. So your bottom plate's bolted on it, and then your floor system can just sit on top of that and then be connected to it.
Gotcha.
With your fasteners. So.
And is that a through pipe that I'm seeing there?
Yeah. So these come already drilled out. So electricians don't have to drill out every hole to pass through like you would on a stud. So it makes that part a little faster for install. And if you have any plumbing pipes that are bigger, you can certainly just core drill it with any concrete bit. So
that's wild.
Makes that part fast.
And on the outside, I saw Broom Finish. So I'm assuming these are probably getting poured flat. Have you ever seen the factory or seen
I haven't got to go to the factory yet, but I've seen lots of pictures, but you're right. I mean, it has that really cool broom finish. And in fact, some people are using that as their finished look on their house and just staining it. So it's a really neat.
Or you could stucco over it if you wanted to.
Get right to it. In this case, it's lick and stick stone. So
it looks, okay, so you're going to put a stone on top of that. That makes sense. Now talk to me about panel width. These have to go together. So there's got to be a joint here somewhere, right?
So there's joints. We have one here, and then I think there's another one just down the wall here. But when they go together, so they interlock, and they have their own proprietary sealant, and it goes between their joint inside and outside the joint.
Is there like a tongue and groove in there or something?
It is. So it's actually it's grooved together, and then it's bolted, and with the sealant you have it end up with a waterproof seal. So
that's wild.
It's a neat process.
Talk to me about schedule. Does this help you at all on schedule?
Yeah, so that's the neat part about this. So if you have your plans ahead of time and you send it to them for a quote, once you approve it, they send it off to engineering. They actually stamp it with their structural team. At that point, once you sign off, they get you in production line. So if you time it right, you can have it ordered and then plan your excavation. So in theory, Matt, you could excavate your basement, on, say, Monday, Tuesday, have gravel on site Wednesday, their prep team's on site, and then they're setting the entire basement on Thursday in one day, and they're gone.
And then you could be pouring your slab and framing basically the very next day.
Keep rolling. So I think in today's time, the cool part is with the labor shortage that we're all facing, it solves that problem for us and definitely helps gain back some of that schedule time that's lost right now. So,
how about that?
Super.
Now,
neat.
this has to be more expensive than a poured concrete foundation with all these insulation, that sort of thing. Can you talk to me about cost at all?
And that's the question we get asked all the time when dealing with these. In this situation, it was actually a cost savings. So I think it's house dependent on the needs that you're trying to do, whether it's retaining walls tied in or other variables. But in this case, it was actually a cost savings.
Wow, how about that? Cost savings, and it's faster on schedule, and it's insulated, and your studs are in place already.
That's right.
Impressive,
That's right.
Will.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
Awesome.
No, by the way, no affiliation with Superior Walls on my end or your end.
Absolutely not.
Have you used these a couple of times now?
We have. So this is, I think, our third or fourth project with Superior Walls, and we have another one scheduled already. So
I'm impressed. I can see why people are doing this.
Right. And they've actually been around, Matt, for 40 years. I think they're celebrating 40 years. So it's a proven process. It's not like it's just a new thing. They have a great system in place. This is actually 5,000 PSI concrete. So high strength, has, water can't penetrate that. Poured with fiber and rebar. They have it down to an art. It's a really neat deal.
Impressive, Will. Good stuff. Hey, Will, before we transition off the video, I want to tell these guys about our appearance that we're making next month. If you guys are going to Florida, the International Builder Show that's in Orlando this year, I'm assuming it's still going to go. That's what, the second week in February?
That's right.
Something like that?
Yeah, second week.
Will and I are going to be at the Huber booth, so come see us because Will is using a brand new product. We can't show you. Brand new product on this house that we're going to be unveiling together at IBS. Right. I think we're going to be in the very first day in the morning of the show, but I'll have a link in the description for the exact whereabouts of Will and I. But in the meantime, go follow Will on Instagram. Great builder down here in Alabama. He's doing some terrific work. And I'm seeing a lot of really good details. So Will and I need to make another video on some other details.
Awesome. Let's do it, man.
Will, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Guys, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content here every Tuesday and every Friday. And speaking of subscribing, we're just a little shy of 1 million subs, and I'd really like that bump over the 1 million mark. That would be huge for me. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. But in the meantime, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show. Yes, Will, you got in on it. I love it.
Awesome.